And we are live.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the One More podcast, finestko's weekly podcast about Persona 4 Arena and Persona 4 Arena-related topics. I'm Vibrating Sheep.
I'm Dassin, bro.
I'm Koopa.
I'm Huey253.
And I'm Chun.
And as you can hear, this week we have a couple of special guests. Huey from the Pacific Northwest, and Chun from NorCal Install. So we're going to jump right into it. This weekend was a pretty exciting weekend with the first Midnight Challenge, followed by Super NCI. And so I'm actually going to throw the first question at Huey, and I'm going to ask for your account of why you came down from the Pacific Northwest and with your car full of fighting game experts, and why do you think it's important that more people do this kind of thing? So Huey, I'm throwing it to you.
Well, from 2 years ago, we made it a point to try to show up to every Super NorCal install. Every 6 months, they have a really big tournament, and so I was just following up on the biannual, plan of going to Super NorCal install. I really felt like it's just important for our players, our better players, to get experience, playing people out of state, because we don't really have tournaments in Washington that often for Persona and BlazBlue, so it's a really good experience for them.
All right. And so, Chun, can you talk a little bit about why you make it a point to have Super NCI and invite people from out of state, or out of at least region, to come and play with us?
I think no matter how good the game is, unless you have a solid community presence, it's not particularly relevant if you have like a great system, like a fighting system. You have to have the community that backs it for people to actually learn and improve their game. NetPlay in the past has influenced the thinking that if you just sit at home and you kind of just train online and you don't make an effort to go out to your local scenes, the game will thrive on its own. But I enjoy the fact that when people come to the scene, people learn matchups, people meet others, people get inspired to make their own scenes. It's really all about information being spread about each character, as well as solidarity within the community. I run it because there's hype with every single time that I see PNW come down, when I see Southern California come up. And when even when we got Reno in for Super NorCal install, I was very, very pleased with that. And I think in order for America to grow in a fighting game, you need to have as much knowledge as possible, and you won't get all the knowledge you need to beat, say, foreign competition without just playing each other in local country.
And is that about it from your perspective then, Chun?
Yeah, I think community is really, really important. I mean, you could see Arcana Heart, right? I mean, Arcana Heart had a very solid system, and yet people was not able to embrace it because of, one, the PSN outages, and two, the release of Ultimate Marvel at the same time. So without community, the game becomes, somewhat irrelevant. So I make a point to make sure this is regular enough that people can enjoy themselves.
I see. Okay, so Dassin, bro, what do you think about what Huey and Chun have said?
Well, I definitely agree. Every time that Huey and the Pacific Northwest crew come down, and normally SoCal comes up as well. It was kind of unfortunate they had an event on the same weekend this time. But every time that everyone meets together in the middle at Super NorCal install, it's always a pretty amazing time. You get a lot of regional rivalries going. There's a lot of excitement behind all the matches. There's really no way to replicate that kind of intensity without some kind of region battle going on. Like, every time it was Washington versus NorCal in the tournament, everyone was on their feet. Like, everyone was so excited about the match. Everyone was screaming their head off. It was very, very different from the locals, and you can't really replace that. Like, if you don't have that kind of experience, when you do go to a major tournament and there is that kind of out of state, out of country challenge, you need to really be ready for that, both in terms of the players being ready for that and in terms of those people that came to support him.
Okay. And then Koopa, do you have anything to weigh in on?
Yes, I like the idea of having a battle royale in NorCal, especially since it all upgrades our abilities. We get to test out what we've trained in the training room for, and I particularly like seeing other people's styles and seeing if I can adapt or adopt some of them for myself. Huey, in particular, I feel like I can never teach you anything because when I try to make you not jump or not DP, sometimes you do it and I want to cry. And that's
I really like Washington's stubbornness. It's very hard to condition them to do anything.
exactly right. I can't do it. I'm like,
Yeah.
but at the same time though, that's a mind game in itself, and I really respect that. And
Yeah, it's like... Oh, sorry.
oh, no, it's okay. Go on.
It's like when I was playing Kaigu in the casual, I noticed that when we were fighting, I was just blocking low, and I was waiting for the Mitsuru rising jump B or something to open me up and then do more damage. But Kaigu never did any of it. And then after the match, I was like, "Hey Kaigu, why didn't you do rising jump B on me?" And he just was like, "Oh, I didn't feel like it."
Okay. So sometimes it's a player preference, but it could also be influenced by the regions and how the players over there prefer a certain type of style, and that style has certain types of answers to beat. So I enjoy watching PNW play. I enjoy watching SoCal and East Coast play as well, and I try to learn from that. But I feel at the same time, you can't really become a better player until you experience it firsthand. Like you're actually there playing the player and seeing, well, so this is how it feels to get DP'd, and then not know what to do about it yet. And then I realize it's Huey, and I love him. All right, that's enough for me.
No, but building on everything that everyone said, adding a regional rivalry into any kind of game is a great way to build spice, and it's a great way to build motivation to keep playing. Because you take a look at Marvel and Aftershock with its 8v8, and you can think about how many people are really getting into this because it's like, okay, we've got to prove that NorCal is the best scene. No, we've got to prove that SoCal is the best scene. NorCal is only blah, 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 right? Things like that. And it really does bring the excitement to just see your best against their best. And that's a great way of just, it's called basking in reflected glory, and it's just a wonderful thing that is behind all sports fandom. And when you say, okay, Dacid Bro is NorCal, and he's going to SoCal, and he's going to prove that NorCal is the best because he's not even our best. He's not even our best Akihiko right now. Things like that. It's like he's going to go down there, he's going to body everyone, and that really stirs up a lot of interest. It gets a lot of people to watch because people from SoCal will be like, oh man, Dacid Bro's gonna get bodied for free. He's gonna get bodied by like our third best kanji, something like that, right?
Okay. I just want to say something really quick. I'm from Dacid Bro, and our best player is NorCal.
Wait, did I say that? Oh, son of a! I've been doing that so often recently.
No,
oh my god.
It's okay. It's okay. Go on.
Sorry, Dacid Bro from NorCal. Blah 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 blah. Anyway, but
Why is this about me?
Well, no, it's also about how, Huey's car. Everybody in Huey's car was like, we are going to go down there, we're going to all get top 4, we're going to lock out NorCal, and it generated a lot more excitement about the event and about the results. People who would normally have gone home long before Grand Finals were like, we've got to make sure Kaigu loses, right? We've got to make sure that whoever beats Kaigu is NorCal and not PNW, things like that.
Yeah, it was really good that the grand finals was NorCal versus Washington. If it had been Washington versus Washington, everyone would have been very sad.
Yeah.
Well, everyone except 4 people.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks for showing up, Huey. And taking all our money.
Thanks, Huey.
Kaigu is a monster.
Thank you for beating 21 and older.
Wait, what?
I told him that if he lost, I'd buy him a drink to make him feel better.
And then I lost.
And he lost.
Darn.
And I felt
Darn.
really staged.
So anyway, yeah, we're actually going to move on from that if you guys think that we're done with this topic.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, and we're going to move on actually to Kaigu. And Huey, I'm going to throw this question to you. And what do you think makes Kaigu so good? Like, what enabled him to come down here and take everyone's money?
Well, first of all, he actually wasn't really going to come, but I more or less forced and sponsored him to come. So I'm happy that he did come and win. He's definitely our strongest player. He's really intelligent. He's been playing Blaze Blue for like the last 3 years, and so Persona is like the spiritual successor in a way, not exactly. So I feel like that also helped him. And Mitsuru is really strong too. So with his like knowledge and like spacing and like fundamentals plus Mitsuru, it's just so much. Like he's really good. He's just really good player. So it wasn't very like I didn't expect him to get any less than first place. I like went in like going to California. I was like maybe I'll get like top 3 or something, but he'll just win the tournament no matter what. So I was really excited. It was as free as I foresaw.
So how long has he been playing?
Persona or the
Persona specifically, yeah.
Oh, he played. We played since release. We play like 2 or 3 times a week offline, and then he net plays sometimes too.
Okay, and then does he train really hard, or do you think that Persona's sort of his second game?
This is his main game. He always is really good like in training mode, figuring out stuff, and always doing optimal like combos and such. So I felt like he trained really hard for the tournament, and it showed. During the tournament, his play was a little reckless, but I think he was just like we kind of encouraged him to have fun because there's no really strong Mitsuru player in NorCal or SoCal really, so I was pretty sure there was no way that people were going to beat him without a really good experience.
And I have to ask, what did he use the money on other than giving you gas money? Did he buy you all steak or something like that?
He's gonna buy us all steak like this weekend. He paid for like the gas on the way back. Like myself and Core paid for the way down, and I figure he's gonna just save that money along with the money he will probably make in the next Seattle major in like a week or so.
There's a Seattle major in a week?
Yeah, it's like it's called End of Summer. Persona 4 Arena is going to be one of the main games. So right now there's like a $500 pot. I don't know how many people registered, but I know it's about that much. So
End of Summer, huh?
Yeah, End of Summer in Seattle. I told Chun to advertise it, but I heard he forgot.
Wait, what? Forgot what?
To advertise.
I think he's had a busy week.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've had a lot of things happen, but it's unfortunate I wasn't able to get the word out a bit better because of some unforeseen circumstances, mostly my hard drive dying on me a week before. So I hope that with the next NorCal install, Super NorCal install, which I plan to be sometime in March, and hopefully we can get some Hawaiian people in as well as some of our old friends from NorCal in, like Crossell. And hopefully we'll be able to make it a little bit bigger than it was last Saturday.
Okay.
I have one more comment if it's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
I actually also starting last June I started running a monthly tournament series. It's called Battle for Seattle, and Persona 4 Arena's featured. It's the last Saturday of every month. It'd be really cool if people could check it out. You could see Washington's best players, including Spark, Murderous Joe, myself, and Kaigu, along with others. So I just thought I'd put that out there.
What channel is that on?
It's always streamed at twitch.tv/logical. So if people could subscribe to @/logical on Twitch, that'd be really awesome. He also has a Twitter.
That's spelled logic hole, right? Not like logical. It's spelled the logic hole.
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
And I just wanted to say really quickly, I can't stress this enough, and I'll probably say this a lot, but really, if you're listening to this podcast right now and you know what Huey's talking about, or you know that region, or you're from that region, there's really nothing stopping you from just checking it out. I mean, everybody, when everybody's hyped for a game, everybody's really friendly about it. I mean, just go there, get some experience. I mean, win or lose, you're going to have a great time. And that's what really it's all about.
Yeah, definitely. Huey, did you have anything else to say about Kaigu?
Also, I just think he's really strong. I think out of all of our players, myself and Joe are probably like the only ones who can actually even win sets against him. I've never seen anybody else even win a set against him. But other than that, like, he's just really dominant in his play, and he's really okay with just being patient and slowly killing you to death rather than just rushing you down. He's cool with just chilling, so it's really hard to fight that kind of playstyle with that character.
Well, cool. Dacid Bro, you were talking about how much you had analyzed Kaigu's play, so I'm going to throw it to you next.
Yeah. I think I was actually disappointed in a few players because before all the people had played against Kaigu, I actually gave them my personal analysis of Kaigu because I made a very specific point to play a relatively long set with him before the tournament, and I found out some really important things about his specific playstyle that would really help people. I gave them the information. If he's representing a grab mid-screen, just literally don't try to tech it because there's no way to react to it, and if you try to tech it, you're going to get counter hit because he uses these counter hit setups for grabs. And a lot of players just try to tech the grab mid-screen instead of taking a negligible amount of damage from it. So that was one of the reasons he just mauled on a lot of people he shouldn't have. And another one of the reasons was because I told people every time you pass over Kaigu, he will Dragon Punch. If you like air dash over him, he will Dragon Punch, guaranteed. Because I mean that's honestly a great spot for Mitsuru to Dragon Punch. That's a spot where almost every other character in the game, the Dragon Punch will not work. So people will have this bad habit of pressing a button after the air dash. But no one. In tournament, it was baited 0 out of whatever amount of times he pressed it, despite going out of my way to tell people about that. And he pressed it every time. So that was definitely one of the reasons he won, because that option went uncontested, 100%. And my other 2 points beyond that are just he played a very clean game. He played a game that was just no flashiness whatsoever. He was just there to kill you. He wasn't going to like show off. He was just doing basic setups. I think the only mix-up he used was either grab or bait the grab counter hit, or high-low when he had the meter or the setup with the ice mirror. And that was it. I mean, he just ran over people with those setups, and nothing flashy. He knew exactly what he was going to do, and he just died. I think that's one of the best ways to play fighting games. So if you feel like your offense is a bit more gimmicky than that, I would suggest revising it. The other thing, of course, is that NorCal just does not have a Mitsuru whatsoever that is at that level.
Yeah.
So we would need to step it up with that. We need to study the matchup a bit more. I know I specifically went to training mode to try to find out some stuff that would beat Mitsuru. Found some useful stuff for Akihiko, but everyone needs to do that for their character as well.
All right. Koopa, do you have anything to add?
When it came to how he used his setups cleanly, I have a lot of respect for that. I'm pretty curious if he actually went to training mode just to make it as precise as possible. And if he did, I applaud him, because I felt like I was watching a grappler with long normals. Is there anything else I need to add? Not really. I think Dacibro covered it pretty well right there.
Okay. Chun, do you have anything that you want to add to this discussion?
No, I think Dacid covered most of the bases here. I think just people really need to buckle down and understand their options. I mean, it can't be just, oh, 5A's the god. I can't do anything about that, unless you really can't do anything about that. But really, just study your options. It doesn't take very long, and it'll help you in your game so much more. So definitely check those out.
Have any of you guys actually gone back and analyzed your matches against Kaigu, just to see what he did to you and how you can change that?
I didn't. Usually when I get chance to play on stream, I do review my own archive. But I wasn't able to play Kaigu until later in the night, and I just got a quick 2 out of 3 with him. But yeah, whenever I'm playing an opponent that I don't understand the habits of, or I lose really, really quickly, I try to remember every point that I was hit. Why was I hit? What was I pressing at the time? What can I do to improve that? And I think it's a safer strategy to adapt to players' habits and discourage kind of flowchart play.
Okay. Huey, do you want to just sort of close this one out, or should we move on?
Not much else to say, I think. He's just really strong, so put a really awesome... by the way, he has been practicing his setups. I know it was a question, but just put a really strong player who's dedicated to practicing and playing constantly online and offline to get all the matchup experience he can. And being in a environment where he has really strong players, it was just like, there's like no way he would not become as dominant as he is right now.
All right. Thanks a lot. And so we're actually going to move on to the last question that we had planned. And this one was suggested by Dakanya, who is a strong local Liz player. He is not, in fact, Tenkai, like I messed up on Saturday. Not that I'm sad about my own failure or anything.
All Asian Rick same.
Acid bro. But anyway, so the whole thing is that just think about this list that I'm about to give you. So every Friday there's going to be Midnight Challenge at Game Center. Every other Thursday, TNT has Persona 4. NorCal Install is the first Saturday of each month. NorCal Dogfights is the third Saturday of each month. And then there's Juice Nation at Spirit Juice's house on Sundays.
Yep.
Is that too many events? Is that oversaturation? And is that going good, bad for the game, or neutral for the game? And I'm going to throw this one first to the guy who goes to the most of these events, and that's Dacid Bro.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start by saying this isn't really a fair question for me because I'm sponsored. That is, without question, the reason that I can go to all these events. I'd like to thank Game Center a lot for that. Game Center and Young Kim have done so much for me in regards to playing these games professionally. That being said, I don't think this many events is a problem at all for Persona. I think it would be very backwards to say, like, look how far we've come from the launch. Like, at the launch, people were saying, God, this game's going to die for sure. There's no way this game could ever survive. Then, like, the game outsold everything. There's Persona events plastered all over every week. There's like 3 events every week. Like, it's incredible. Like, we've had it on FGTV. Everyone there is looking to play it. We have people traveling out of state. Like, Summer Jam was incredible. I don't think this is a problem whatsoever. I think this shows the strength of the game. I think this shows the strength of the community. And I think this is just fantastic for the game.
Okay. Next, I'm going to throw it to Chun as an event organizer. What do you think about this? Is that too much competition? Do you think that you guys are working together really well? Like, how are you treating this kind of event saturation?
You know, I've thought about this a while because I'm used to when we were still playing, you know, in the Blaze Blue era, when we had like 1 or 2 events in a month, and people were satisfied with that, but at the same time they weren't getting enough. And now that we have so many events at once, I think it's good to embrace so many different opportunities. The biggest problem I had when I was running NCI dates was that people were not able to make one date out of the month. And then if they didn't make that date, they'd have to wait 2 months to play other people. So especially since we're still growing, right? The game's only been out for about a month. This is definitely a great opportunity for everybody to just level up, to just understand and meet people and really enjoy the game. And just spreading it is fantastic. Later on, we can consolidate events to a more focused, you know, like point. But for now, I think right now what's going on is absolutely unbelievable.
I see. And I'm going to go to Koopa next. Koopa, do you think this is a problem? Like, is there too much of a stream competition, you think? Just too many different things vying for attention? Or do you think it's fine?
Well, the nice thing is that these tournaments held throughout the week are specifically put on a different day. So it's not going to be like TNT versus Juice Nation on Thursday because they're on separate days. Also, they are located in different regions, so some people don't have the funds to make it to all these tournaments, but some people don't even have the funds to make it to the Bay Area. So we're providing an extra venue, a possibility for people to play Persona over in, let's say, SAC or Elk Grove or in Davis. And in the Bay Area, we have TNT, we have NorCal Install, and we have Dogfights. So I don't
And
see
Midnight Challenge.
and Midnight Challenge. There we go. And I don't particularly see it as a problem, unless there's someone out there who really wants to go to all these events just to improve every single time. Then that would just be money. In that case, get a sponsor.
or a good job.
Or a good job. Yes, that works too. I'm actually really happy that we have a bunch of events because I figured these are like kind of like mini weeklies, and if you're really dedicated to going out to these events and practicing, yes, it'll take money, you'll see yourself improve quickly, and you'll get experience against multiple players. Also, all these events have a stream, so if you happen to be playing on a stream, you get the valuable experience of looking at your play from the present into the past. So you could say, well, on week 1 when I went to TNT, I lost against a Yosuke player. What did I do wrong? Well, I didn't know what this did or what this did. Maybe I'll go online or training mode and figure that out. Week 2, I fought the same Yosuke player. I did a lot better. I fought a Chie player and had trouble against Chie. Let me see what I did on stream if I happened to be there. And it's I think it's actually pretty valuable to have all these events all streamed and all with good communities.
Okay. And then, Huey, I'm going to throw this one to you because you're from the outside looking in. Like, is this an enviable position? Would you love to have this problem of having, 6 events a month that you can go to or not go to? Or do you
It's a
think
lot
that
more
would
than
just be too
6.
many? I know. It's, let's see, 1, 2, 6, it's 8, and then counting Juice Nation, it's 12. Okay, so 12.
Anyway,
Okay.
go on.
Okay, so I think that personally, myself, in my situation, we have our monthly tournament that I run myself, and from the release, there's weekly tournaments on Thursdays or whatever, and those are good too. And as long as people can, as long as we can get at least an 8-man bracket at these weekly events, I feel it's fine. If it gets under that, I would rather have it bi-weekly to emphasize people to show up rather than just have a number of events. Personally, if I could choose, I'd rather just have 25 of my friends show up every other week rather than 10 of my friends show up every week. So I feel like it's kind of a problem where I live, but in NorCal there's so many people there. There's so many people, and there's so many people interested in the game. From the 2 days I was down there, I met and talked with so many people about the game. So I feel like that it's not a real problem down there. It actually is almost a problem for us. So if it comes up, I think I might tell people that it might be better to cut down and get our numbers in, because the more people the merrier, and with all the different matchups we can have played with the more people, I think it's more beneficial in the end.
I see. So your main point there is, in the event that the numbers drop, you would want to cut it to tell people that you should at least come to this one, and everyone would meet on the same day instead of kind of dwindling the numbers. But in the event that you have plenty of people there, the weeklies are encouraged?
Yeah. So in NorCal, Midnight, what's it called?
Midnight Challenge?
Midnight Challenge. From us being there, that event went really well. There was definitely a really good bracket. I feel like that event will do really well in the future. So I don't think it's a problem in NorCal per se, but maybe in smaller regions it might come up as an issue, and I think a solution would be cutting it down to bi-weekly would be a good solution for it.
That makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then, Chun, do you have anything to just sort of add in after all of this?
No, not really. I think Huey covered a lot of it.
Yeah, and so actually, I'd like to bring in something that Spirit Juice said in the stream chat here, which was, it's not a lack of weekly events that's going to be a problem for oversaturation. It'll be having too many majors. What do you guys think about that comment? Let's start with once again, Dacid Bro.
It's interesting. I would say that there is a legitimate potential for a problem there. In the event that the majors all cost a decent amount of capital, it could potentially start to really drain people's wallets, where if they go to a major literally every week, that could definitely start to hit people pretty hard there. It's hard for me to say, though. I mean, in general, well, I think there's several potential problems there. If there's not a prize added to the majors, I don't think it really sends the right message. Whereas if there is a extra prize added to these majors, I think that is definitely something that should be supported. In the event that it's just kind of a high-priced major without a bonus pot, it's kind of like an overpriced weekly, you know, where the Persona community should question whether or not that is a tournament that has the best interest for the scene and not just a tournament that is trying to benefit from it.
I see. And Chun, what do you think about that?
Dacid actually brought up a lot of good points. I was actually originally going to price the Super NCI as usually the $7 venue that we usually run, as well as $5 a game. But then Huey actually asked me earlier in the week, could you add more incentive? And I thought, that's actually not a bad idea, because I've appreciated the support from Pacific Northwest and Southern California for running for coming up to NCI every time I throw a big super. But to add a little more incentive, I think would actually help a lot because it just makes people more hungry, and it makes a lot of sense since they spend so much. They're spending already capital to get to my event. At the very least I can do is provide something that would match their capital rather than going home in the negative.
Okay, and then Huey, do you think that the PNW scene would be able to either make more majors or support more majors in the PNW scene, or would that be a problem, like was mentioned?
I think like people would be fine to make more events as long as that they're thrown by like the right people and there's not overlapping over previous events. Like that's something I'm actually a little worried that might happen in my region, but it seems like it's pretty solved in NorCal. So I think people are pretty okay at showing up for stuff. They're not actually good, but I think there's not enough incentive for people to be good at it. Like it hasn't been proven, like why should I like show up every like week or whatever to this event, like because they're not very special. But I've been trying to make the monthly tournament I run, it's a little more casual than the normal like tournament scene or whatever. And yeah, like, you know, we do have tournaments there too, so I just try to like make a good event that everybody can enjoy that's there. And you know, the stream will be good too, but like I'd much rather like to see your face, you know. I'd rather say hi and, you know, give you a handshake than like talk to you over stream chat.
Okay.
This is kind of a shot in the dark, but as a tournament organizer, it's kind of difficult because I mean, we live in an age where people see the event on the internet and then they go. It's not like it's televised. It's not like there are flyers everywhere next to their arcades. It's kind of like we put a forum post up on a really relevant place, say Shoryuken or Dust Loop, and we then just hope and that things don't intersect. I mean, I have Tone on the NCI team to help me get through this timeline, because I'm afraid that NCI, you know, will conflict with other major tournaments in the area, and I want people to embrace their own communities as well. So it's pretty difficult, but I think it can be done with the right contacts. When we went down to Southern California with Dasabro, myself, Koopa, Black Mage, and Solex. I went down to there to meet Alex Valle, but I also made sure that we would have the establishment. We would establish good relations with Southern California, so that we can cross promote each other's events and make sure that our large events don't intersect. So.
Yeah, Valle's been really great.
Mm-hmm. He's been retweeting and everything.
So, is there anything else that anyone wants to say about this topic, or should we move on to the stream questions?
I feel we should move on to the stream questions, if that's okay.
Okay, so the first one, Huey actually already answered in stream chat, but I actually wanted to ask him it so we could have it in the archive. And that is, Huey, how do you land so many dragon punches?
Well, other than being awesome and Evo champ and being the best,
The
and
best.
beating
The best.
and beating Dasbro for the third time in a row. Other than all of that stuff,
Oh
that's
my
not
God.
important. That's not important. What is important is I try to stay I try to my best to not commit to anything until the very last second. So sometimes people will actually meaty a slow move on me, and then it's just free to do on reaction. Other times I will try to I'll look at my resources and look at my opponent's resources and risk reward and look at hey, if I land this, I'll disrupt their momentum, and I might be losing, but I really need this, but they might be baiting it here, so it's probably not worth it. So maybe I should wake up Goldburst or wake up Jump, because they're gonna think I'm baiting it. So that's another way that people have a hard time beating my dragon punches, is that a lot of times I'll pick direct answers that beat you baiting it outside of a safe jump. It's really hard to safe jump Yosuke's counters, so a lot of people will just not meaty you and then delay, but you could just jump out or backdash or roll out. I always pick another option to contest, just letting it rock, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
Could I add to that, or Koopa, were you going to?
Oh, I have a very small thing to add, Huey. So you said
Go for it.
you DP at the very last second. You commit to it to the very last second, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you do with relationships?
Oh my
I
God.
dodge.
Whoa.
Hey, let's
We just
Hey,
completely
hey.
cut the track.
Wait, no, hey, I was opening this up because when we went to the bar and I had the vase right on top of your head, you dodged the very last second with your DP.
Oh my God.
Does everyone? I'm gonna bring this story up real quick.
Go ahead.
So we're at the bar after NCI. This is just 2 days ago, and me, Koopa, and Huey are all there. We just got our drinks and we just cheersed and sat down, and with absolutely nothing to warn us or no incentive whatsoever, a vase falls from high above and destroys Huey's drink that is 1 foot in front of him. And we all have this 3 seconds of just blank, what on earth just happened? Is everyone okay? And then we're all so confused, but Koopa looks a little bit more understanding of what happened than everyone else. He's a bit calmer, and his name is Vased Koopa. And he did buy Huey the drink at the bar.
Yeah.
And he has been known to want to kill Huey in the past. So we're putting it together. We feel like it might have been Koopa, but we can't prove it yet.
I'm just saying, Huey, we could have been, the best of buddies if you just moved your head out a little bit under that shelf.
So I have to ask another question, actually, which is, at a certain angle, does that vase look like a blue badger?
I'm gonna ban all of you right after this. I'm serious. I'm gonna ban every single one of you.
So I want to add something to what Huey was talking about earlier. And I think another reason you hit so many dragon punches, especially at Midnight Challenge and Super NorCal Install, is we don't have many Yosuke's in NorCal. So I think another thing is a lot of people are either uncomfortable with that specific dragon punch, they don't know how to beat it, or they're not comfortable calling it out so hard that the damage is relevant. Because with Yosuke's counter, you have 2 options. You can either cross it up and it doesn't work, or you can call it really hard and counter hit it. But in the event that you're using the cross-up way to bait it, you're not actually doing too much damage with most characters. If you call it out, let like the 30 frames or something recover, you can fatal counter it. And a lot of people just were not comfortable enough making that kind of impossibly hard read where they just don't do anything as a mix-up. I know that I was able to fatal it a few times, and that really helped, especially since I'm playing Akihiko. But Huey's Dragon Punches are very good. I like the way that he thinks about it. I like that he's not afraid to use it. He's willing to read patterns. He's willing to make that choice. He's willing to commit to it.
Mm-hmm. All right, does anybody have anything to add, or should we move on to the next question?
Just really quickly. Definitely go into training mode and just learn that DP. I was talking with Stun Edge on Twitter after I lost to Mike Muscles and then after playing Huey that night. And he was pretty much saying, you know, even for any character, learn that DP duration because it's somewhat deceiving in when you think you can punish it and when you should stop blocking.
It's
and
like
so, yeah, it's like forever. It's like 30 frames or something active or something like that. I'm not sure. But definitely check. You need to know that if you plan to fight Yosuke seriously. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
I also want to mention that during a lot of Super NorCal install, I was pretty loud, like during a lot of Kaigu's matches and Joe's matches and Core's matches. Not just to be a douchebag to NorCal, because I love you guys, but mainly you know, to hype them up, and you know it made the event more fun to me, like getting so loud and rowdy. So
yep.
In a lot of ways, I'm the same person. I've really believed strongly in that the crowd actually can help the player. If you are able to get your player hyped up, like amped up, excited, and feel like he's winning the match, he'll actually do better usually. There are some exceptions. Some people are kind of a bit more introverted. They don't really like the excitement. And in that case, I would say back off a little bit. But definitely the people from Washington, they would all ride the energy. And like I'm definitely the same way. Like if there's just a bunch of dudes yelling, like I'm going to play way better.
Although,
so it depends on who is playing.
There is the counter argument that sometimes the crowd will convince you to pick the wrong character during grand finals.
So what's the next question?
The next question is from One Time Hero, who's known as a Street Fighter player, and he wants to know, how aggressive are you guys targeting the existing fighting game scene to get them to play Persona 4 as either an alternate game or eventually a main game?
Oh, I'm targeting it so hard. Like literally the number one reason that I played Marvel vs. Capcom 3 for its entire duration was so that I could make so many connections with that community, try to make a lot of new friends and a lot of new connections, a lot of people, and I wanted to make sure that people at least respected me as a fighting game player. I mean, maybe I'm not the best, but like at least I can throw down in a game that they play. And the number one reason I did that was so that I could make all these connections and bridge out into new communities. I really want this community to grow. I really want to pick up players from these existing communities because these are not just like these aren't just people who can participate in our tournaments. It's like I've met a lot of really, really cool people in these scenes, and I am so thankful for the decision that I made to bridge out into these other communities, and I'm glad that a lot of them are doing the same for us in return. I've had a lot of people that play Marvel really listen to me about Persona and like try the game and ask me for advice, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, Chun, since you're running a Persona 4 event, like how much are you reaching out to other fighting game communities about Persona, or are you focusing on your core audience?
I have to give Dacid a lot of credit because I really appreciate how much he reaches out. We had a small talk before in the beginning of like when we were in the negative days about how we were planning to spread this game around because we both really enjoyed it. We really wanted other people to get into it. We saw that we could see that this game could definitely bridge barriers that people usually have for anime games or Capcom games, that kind of stuff. I've definitely also adapted to be a little more aggressive in learning the game as well. Not because I'm a huge Persona fan, but also because reaching out to people and seeing other organizers helps with the solidarity of people. And eventually, I hope that I'm coming up on my 2-year anniversary of running NCIs in October. And I really hope that with all the work that the community does and myself, we can definitely grow a, really big anime major, very much like, not necessarily Evo right away, but maybe something of that, at least half of that stature.
So here's a counter question to you, Chun. Does it need to be a quote-unquote anime major, or can it just be a major and there happens to be, a certain number of games that people would consider anime as the main game? Because do you want to segregate the communities, or do you want to integrate them? That's really the question.
I've actually thought about this a lot back in the early days of NCI. People were suggesting, if you get general, like Marvel players or Street Fighter players into the game, to play their own game, they'll see the game and the hype in the community around it, and then you could integrate everybody into one big tournament. And I've done a lot of thinking about this, because in the case that we do get, I managed to pull something really, really big, I've always thought, do I want to just stick to this mentality where I want to keep the underrepresented as, top level, featured games, or do I want to push more in the direction of these games are big in other places, and we want to show that we are also, we are just as enthusiastic about ours, and, to consolidate into one event. So I'm still really torn. I've been testing a lot of different formats, and I've been thinking over what the cost, what the effectiveness is of each strategy is. So I really can't say for sure at the moment, but right now all I know is that whatever people like, I want to run, and that's
so you're saying it's possible sometime it could be that NorCal Install is not just like niche games, but it could be just all of these games are considered equal here, instead of Street Fighter and Marvel is the main game, and then these other games are on the side.
Yeah,
So it could be like Persona and Marvel and Street Fighter and Blaze Blue and Guilty Gear are running side by side with equivalent importance.
Yeah, I think the reason why NCI exists is to, show that, underrepresented games get their time in the limelight. But at the same time, I'm not saying, these games are better than other games. Mm-hmm. I just want everybody to be equally represented so we can all, as a fighting game community, come together. And I think that's the most important thing.
I see. And then Koopa, as a streamer, do you have any specific opinions on this?
When it comes to representation of the games that are labeled anime games, I try to first call it something else. I prefer air dash fighters. Mm-hmm. And I've come from a Street Fighter community into the air dash fighting community with the knowledge that the stigma exists. And I've been trying my very hardest to destigmatize it, but it's very difficult. And I think possibly one of the best ways to just play both. Play the air dash fighters and anything that happens to be in the limelight at the moment. And by doing that, then you can probably integrate the communities, which is what we're trying with Chun and ourselves here. And just pray for a better future, I guess.
Okay, so I'm going to weigh in with just a couple of thoughts on this topic myself. And it's not a matter of being aggressive with, getting in people's face about, my game is just as good as your game. In terms of Persona 4, the game speaks for itself. And the turnout has been speaking for itself too. And, a lot of what people would consider the core fighting game community, people like the Valles and the Kanedas, those kinds of organizers for the Street Fighter and Marvel tournaments, they're really believing in the game. And they, it's like we talked about at TNT. TNT, a lot of people who you would consider, hardcore Capcom players, ROM, LPN, etc., they're playing the game because it's good. They're not playing the game specifically because they liked Persona 4, the RPG. They're not playing it because they really like, the quote-unquote anime stylings of it. They just think it's a good game. And so, we're doing this podcast because we think it's a good game. And it's a matter of just getting out there and convincing people it's a good game. And so, we're not necessarily going to be in people's faces about it, but we're just going to keep playing it. And if people ask us about it, yeah, it's a good game. You should watch it. You should, we'll teach you. Actually, I said that was the last, but I've realized we forgot to bring Huey into this topic. Huey, what do you think about how aggressively you're trying to bring other people in PNW into this game?
Well, myself over the past year, I slowly came into the Capcom scene. A couple months ago, I started playing Marvel in tournaments or whatever because it was right before Evo or whatever, and I wanted to go to Evo to play something else other than just BB. So I learned a bit of Marvel. So I've only been playing for a couple months, but from playing a lot of people and meeting them and talking to them, I tried my best to convince people to try it, and it's actually worked. I've gotten a lot of people to play it. There's a whole new batch of people who were not even involved in the Blaze Blue scene at all to play Persona with us on a weekly basis, and it's really awesome. I'm very happy they did so. Other than that, I think Dasabro is the hardest working man when it comes to trying to get people to play the game outside of the community, and people need to give him more credit for that. But other than that, I think it's just a collective group thing that we all need to do. Just try to bug our friends, try the game or whatever, because you never know. The next guy you bug might be the new, I don't know, Daigo. You never know. He might fall in love and then start playing the game.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, and so it seems like it's a good time to close this out. We're getting over an hour here. So this is usually the part where Koopa talks about the upcoming events that are going to be occurring either on finestko or otherwise. Huey, when is the next time that you're going to be doing either Battlefish Seattle or End of Summer?
End of Summer is on the 22nd and 23rd of September, and that's just a big tournament that's regional, and it's going to actually include StarCraft and LOL. It's a big esports event that fighting games are just in. And then the tournament series I run, Battle for Seattle, is last Saturday of the month, so it's going to be skipped this month, obviously, because of the huge tournament the week before. But we're going to have it on October 27th. Please, help me advertise it. I just, hope, maybe some random guy might see it and might show up. That's, the best thing that could happen for me. I get to see new faces or whatever. The viewers is greatly appreciated, too. But, if I get new people to come out, that's, that makes my day. So that's all I can ask for.
Awesome. Koopa, would you take over with the event promotion here?
Yeah, sure. First, here's our schedule. As you already know, every Monday at 6:30 PM PST, we have the One More podcast. And later today, we're having the Amnesia Horror stream with the Spirit Juice. I'm not 100% sure if he's going to continue Amnesia, or he's going to do custom stories of Amnesia, or do something else. But stay tuned if you're interested in any of those games, and a possibly secret game in the future. Every Tuesday and Wednesday, we're having a Pokemon Leaf Green stream with Shui from V. He does a bunch of difficult runs. Well, one difficult run, apparently. Hopefully, he will name you after a Pokemon, and hopefully you won't die and get angry like I did.
Rest in peace, Koopa.
It's okay. It's okay. I want to say every Sunday we have Juice Nation, but it seems that for the last 3 weeks we've had events on Sunday. So this Sunday we are having Drumstruction, a temporary or possibly permanent monthly. That's also going to be a charity event, and the games there are going to be Ultimate Marvel's Capcom 3, Super Street Fighter 4, Tekken Tag Tournament 2, and Persona 4 Arena. The stream should begin at 1 p.m. PST. And
Was this a tournament that also had Madden?
No, that would be Capital Fight District, which is on Saturday. Let's see. The Capital Fight District is held in the LIMN building, also known as the Fusion International Arts Center at 501 Arden Way, Sacramento, California. It begins on, once again, this Saturday, September 15th. Sign-ups start at 12 p.m. noon, and the tournament and stream begins at 2 p.m. PST. Stream provided, obviously, by us at twitch.tv/finestko. And the games are Super Street Fighter 4, Arcade Edition 2012, Ultimate Marvel's Capcom 3, Mortal Kombat 9, Super Smash Bros. Brawl and Melee, and Persona 4 Arena. Super Smash Bros. Melee has a $50 pot bonus, so if Dasabro would like to relive his old days of showing his moves, he can definitely come for a $50 bonus pot. Oh, and we can't forget, my bad, we also have Madden. How could I forget about Madden? $10 entry for Madden NFL 13.
I call Michael Jordan.
Okay, let's
I
go.
love hand egg.
Michael Jordan in Madden?
Madden.
Hey, hang on, I'm not done yet. I'm gonna something really quick. There we go. Now we're good. All right, next. This Thursday, we're having a 24-hour Shenmue stream provided by yours truly, Vase Koopa. It'll begin at 3 PM PST on twitch.tv/finestko. This is rather a last-minute thing, but hopefully you will enjoy it, and we can search for sailors together. I also want to thank Game Center's Myung for providing the system and games for me to do commentary as well as play it. So if you're interested in Shenmue at all, this is my second time playing it. I never beat it before, and I was very young when I first started playing, so I've probably forgotten everything. Let's see. Last but not least, we have the Game Center P4U Weeklies, also known as the Midnight Challenge, every Friday at Game Center at 8 PM PST. The venue is 47 South B Street, San Mateo, California, 94402, and you could easily follow them at facebook.com/GameCenterArcade or twitter.com/GCArcade.
Do you happen to have the promo for that?
If you guys would like to watch it.
We can do that at the end. There's one last event that I'd like to point out, and that's Tighter Fight 6, which is coming up September 22nd.
Oh, yeah.
Over at Milpitas Golfland. It's run by the Keystone guys, I believe, or is it the Capsule guys?
Possibly
Anyway,
both.
it might be both, but it's being held at Milpitas Golfland. It will feature Persona 4 as a main game, along with Tekken Tag Tournament 2, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and Super Street Fighter 4. And so, yeah, that's going to be a place where you can really represent this scene and just the general fighting game community right there. So
This is on which day?
it's September 22nd.
Okay.
So in next weekend, not this coming weekend.
Got it.
But anyway, yeah. So any closing thoughts, guys?
Play Yukiko, please. There's...
Rest in peace, Yukiko.
Are you not Koopa?
Are you serious? Are you serious, Sheik?
No.
All right. Guess what happens now?
Are you gonna say anything about that? I was about to say, but no. It's like, Chun, are you crying?
Hashtag Yukiko37.
Dude, it's just I've been devastated since Team Yukiko was on release date. We had like 3 or 4 Yukikos, and then suddenly we're down to like myself and Yo-Yo, and then Yo-Yo goes, "I like yours."
Yeah, the Yukiko army is falling to pieces, so rest in peace, Yukiko.
Shoutouts to no PNW Yukiko, as far as I heard. Shoutouts to
There's one.
Okay, there's
His
one.
name's Daigo Barkley.
Daigo Barkley?
Isn't that the best name ever? He looks like Daigo, and he didn't know what to do for a last name, so
Is it Barkley?
Daigo Barkley.
Oh my God.
Daigo
He makes Slam Jam remixes too, so
Yes! Tell him to send them my way.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, shoutouts to
There you go.
sorry, shoutouts to Mikey and shoutouts to Choi Sauce. I mean, I really think that even if the character isn't played that often and she's considered possibly low tier, you still need to know the matchup.
That's true.
So, I mean...
If you don't know the matchup with any character, you're still gonna die.
Yeah, you're just gonna die. That's just how it is. So, I mean, if you like...
This is very important to you, Hotshot.
Yeah.
Yes, it is pretty fucking important.
Man.
But yeah, please, if you do have interest in the character, don't give up after like seeing fancy combos. It just takes practice. That's pretty much it.
All right.
And also-
any closing thoughts?
Well, first of all, Yukiko is really cute. I'm really happy to see her throw fans at me. Sometimes I decide to run through them, and then like in the round. That's very fun. I don't think she can really win that matchup very well. but shout outs to Stun Edge beating Hayashi, the only Yosuke in SBO. He beat him round 1, so that was actually
Yukiko is the best.
Yeah, he beat the best Yosuke, so I was very impressed. He's really strong.
Stun Edge and HH are both amazing at Yukiko.
Yeah, they're both really good. Also, Himajin, I think, is the #1 ranked Yukiko, also very strong.
If you guys want to know like really strong Japanese players for any of these characters, just let us know on Twitter. We'll help you out. We'll hook it up with all the videos. They do exist. You just have to know where to find them. But a good consistent resource for that would be Jordal's YouTube, JOURDAL. You can find a lot of really strong Persona play there.
There's also Pocket Asian's channel too.
That's right, PKTAZN.
Yeah. She uploads lots of videos too. Both of them work too hard, and they are very underappreciated. So if you guys have a chance, please thank them sometime for all their hard work. They're not getting paid for it. They're not like a whole group of people doing it. It's just 2 people who thought like, hey, let me help out my community by doing X. So
they're amazingly dedicated.
Yeah, shout out to PK Asian. Thanks for all the ideas. Thanks to the Yukiko videos you put up.
PK Asian.
Pocket Asian, come on.
Pocket Asian, man.
Yeah,
I was thinking Earthbound. Okay, god damn it.
Okay, all right.
Okay, and then other than that, thanks for listening to this. Thanks for watching tournaments and supporting Persona. The new BlazBlue, I hear it's actually coming out very soon after Arcade release, so there might be a little conflict there. But outside of that, like I hope people at least try new games. And keep like Tekken's coming out tonight at midnight, so like even if you've never played 3D fighting games, like I'm definitely I'm already pre-ordered a copy. I'm gonna pick it up, and I'm at least gonna training mode a little bit and try to figure out mechanics so that maybe I might drop the game or whatever. But like at Evo when a year ago when Tekken was there, like, it looked really hype, but I didn't understand what was going on, so it didn't mean much to me. I didn't want that to happen again. So I'm going to at least, like, get a basic level of understanding of the game so that I can appreciate, like, all the good stuff that's happening. I think people need to just try different stuff, even if it seems weird. And I'm talking about games here, guys. So, and then also, please help support Pacific Northwest, our streamer Logical. He's brand new. We're trying to get more that, like our last tournament, we have Kaigu that you just won the NCI, Spark, the previous Evo champion, myself, the current Evo champion for VB.
Yeah, the funny thing is like Washington's competition.
We have like
Washington's
6 viewers.
competition is incredible, but people don't know about your streams yet.
Yeah.
Definitely watch twitch.tv/logichole. Because those guys are serious in these games, and they always place top 3. Like, always. They're so good at these games.
All right, Decibro, any final thoughts, or should we...
I didn't actually disconnect that. But we're gonna go ahead and call it end! Oh yeah!